So I tried to tell you guys and I was right. I did a video a little bit ago, my Matt Walsh video, and I said that America wasn't racist, but people were just ready to hear authentic black stories and black voices. Well, enter Sinners. Sinners is the new movie by Ryan Coogler, and it stars Michael B. Jordan as the Smokestack Twins. This video is just going to be a quick run and gun video because I am packing for vacation. So it's just going to be a video that is sloppily edited. It's not going to be all fancy with the bells and whistles. It's just going to be my thoughts on the movie because I just saw it yesterday. So the synopsis of the movie is the Smokestack Twins are out looking for a new juke joint or jukebox joint, and they go around recruiting people to go to this new place where they can make money. These twins are from Chicago, and they claim to have robbed the Irish and the Italians and blamed it on each other. And they used the resources that they robbed from them to create this juke joint. Well, the opening night of the juke joint is interrupted by what seems to be unwanted guests, but turns into be something more sinister. Enter the vampires. So this is going to be a spoiler review. If you guys haven't seen the movie, go see it first and then come back and watch this. This movie is a hidden vampire movie where if you walk in blind, you probably don't know that it's going to be a vampire movie. It kind of surprises you in that way, which is not a bad thing, but it's a hidden vampire movie because doing vampires in the traditional way has become played out, and in order to incorporate those characters, you have to do something really creative, and I think this movie does it. What I was saying at the beginning of this video is that everybody was saying that people don't want representation, that they don't want to see black voices, but I think that could be further from the truth because people want to see original black stories. They just don't want white characters replaced with black people and vice versa because, who is that even for? You know what I mean? So anyway, what I liked about the movie is the cinematography goes from IMAX to Panavision, and they use the IMAX and Panavision in very strategic ways. For example, they use IMAX because IMAX is very long, so they use it to tell a story. I remember this one shot in the cotton field was like very tall. Cotton field was at the bottom, and there was a sky at the very top, and it looked, like a drastic dichotomy, a beautiful sky with like the cotton fields and black people in the cotton fields, and it's used to represent like heaven and hell, and they do that pretty well. They also use the Panavision to emphasize claustrophobia. They want you to feel claustrophobic. When these characters are moving through the room and bumping into people at this party, they want you to feel it. They want you to feel like you're there, which I really appreciated. Ludwig Göransson, I think his name is a very talented musician, and he has the score of this movie. And anything he's in, I really enjoy his score because I've been keeping tabs on him since he used to produce for Donald Glover. And if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Donald Glover fan. It has a lot of bluegrass, it has a lot of blues, it has a lot of death metal, and at times hip hop, but he knows how to do it perfectly. The guitar that is used in the movie is actually the guitar that he used to compose the music with, so that's pretty cool. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are two of my favorite people in Hollywood. I really like their chemistry behind the camera and in front of the camera. I have been following them since Fruitvale Station and all the way through all the Creed movies, and they just have the best chemistry. They did Black Panther together. They just have really good chemistry, and I really enjoy watching both of them. This review I'm going to do because a lot of the right-wing or conservative people are not reviewing this movie. They seem to have forgotten that this is one of the biggest movies right now, and their pages are silent for the most part. I am very curious as to what they're going to say about this movie, though. So I really like the use of the niceness, the fake niceness that the vampires have to use in order to get inside. It's a lot of like the fakeness that used to go on back in those times in like the 1900s, the early 1900s, where it started to get illegal where you couldn't just outright kill black people. That started to become illegal, so they had to find different ways to manipulate them, and one of those ways was to act fake nice or to pretend like they have to hide their intentions. So I really enjoyed that part of the movie also. Now, some things that I didn't like is that I felt like going into this movie, it was hyped to be this really, really good movie, and that it was just perfect and the ending was great. And because of that, because of everybody hyping it up, I had really high expectations, and while my expectations were met a little bit, it still wasn't as good as everybody says it was to me personally, just my honest opinion. It was a good movie, it was very enjoyable, but I think the bar is set pretty low for movies, and so now we're just kind of accepting anything that is an actual movie and tells a good story, and that isn't how it should be. We should want really good things. Here are some of the things that probably could make it better, or that I really struggled to understand why they didn't use more of that. One of them was the Native Americans. The Native Americans came when that vampire showed up to those KKK people's house, and that they just warned them and was like, he's bad, and then they went away, and then we never saw him again throughout the entire movie. You literally could have took them out of the movie and the movie would have been the exact same. So why they were there, I don't really know. Also, some things that also got pushed to the side was the music and how it was able to connect you to your ancestors from the past. This is something that I think Ryan Coogler definitely got from his time working on Black Panther. There's a lot of similarities there, a lot of, connection to the African culture, which I really enjoyed. I just wish there was more of that. I wish there was a way where Sammy, the kid on the guitar, was able to conjure up something and fight the vampires with that magic on his side. Or I was waiting for the vampires, while they were playing music, for them to conjure up some of their ancestors and use music as a way to become more powerful or something like that. I was just waiting for a little bit more to happen there, and I think a lot more could have happened with that particular part of the movie. I also felt like the twins doing their twin thing, one of them being a vampire and being dead, that would affect them in some weird way. I think it would have been cool to show that, but I get it, like, you can only have so much in a movie. What do you want it to be? Vampires, magic or twin stuff, whatever. I think it would have been really cool if, they had this lady who was a voodoo lady. They had the Native Americans were there. They had this Asian couple that was there, and their ancestors were dancing at the party too. So I feel like in the Irish, so there's a lot of cultures, a lot of mixing right there. So I feel like there's room there to do a little bit something with that, whether it's, vampires have had a different impact on different cultures, and these people call it this, these people call it this, these people call it this, but they're in every single culture, and different ways of fighting them and killing them, and people interpreting them through, and people using music to fight them or whatever. I think that would have been interesting if they took those cultures and they used that as a way to help them fight these vampires or whatever, these creatures from hell. One thing I also forgot to mention was the whole when they get bit, they have no inhibitions and they seem happier, they seem more alive, they seem more rooted in the earth, like they seem like they're in the flesh. This movie is really biblical, and I feel like it's saying something about the flesh and how you act when you're being guided by the flesh. You're being guided by something that is not higher, by your most instinct driven self, right? I feel like it's saying something about that in this movie too. Like you get bit and you're in all this ecstasy and you're in this endless pleasure cycle, and you try to get other people to do that too. So I think that is a really important point to bring up in this movie too. I also really liked. I touched on Ludwig Göransson with the score, but just the music in general that this movie chooses to use is really powerful and really impactful. At certain times it does use hip-hop, at certain times it uses blues, and it draws inspiration from those early blues and those the Crossroads. It's very inspired by the Crossroads and, you know, selling your soul to the devil. It's heavily inspired by that, and you can really tell, you know, in this movie. And something about the blues is that the blues used to be called devil's music, and it was called that by white people, and it was because, you know, black people played the blues and they would smoke marijuana, they said. I don't know if that's real or if that is something that they added on to make it more devil worshipy. And then the blues turned into rock and roll, and that's where you got Elvis and, you know, all these other guys, and then that turned into rock, and then that is why there's an association there with the devil music, with, you know, because it's associated with blackness, and that blackness and in the movie there's a struggle between the character Sammy, who is gifted at the guitar playing music but also has a dad in the church choir, and there's a struggle between where is he going to go, towards music or towards his father, and is going towards music really, you know, a sinner's way, if you will? Like, is him going towards music choosing to be a sinner, or is there a way to have good music without the devil and all that stuff? But yeah, that's my take on Sinners, guys. This video is going to be just really cut and dry, to the point, no editing. I have to go and, you know, get on a flight because I'm about to go on vacation. So yeah, that's it. If you like this video, give it a like, comment down below, and if you made it this far, you're a crazy person, freak of nature. How could you listen to me this long? I don't get it. You'll just never learn, will you? Alright. Anyway, guys, that's it. My name's Dave Blacks, and I'll see you in the next video.